Everybody liked your film yesterday here in Locarno. Me too. Do you have?
I didn't.
Why?
Oh, it's such a shit.
Why did you make them?
For reasons I wouldn't tell for anybody. I had to do it anyway.
But here they liked it. Do you have the impression to have made friends for the Finnish film in general?
Well, I wouldn't talk about my films and Finnish film in the same day. I'm not a nationalist, so I signed the sentence that film is universal. It doesn't matter where it's made.
Everybody seemed to have liked your film yesterday here on the Grande Piazza Ariel. Do you have the impressions to have made friends for the Finnish films or for your films in special?
Well, I certainly hope so. So I prefer people like my films than desperately hate them.
I ask because the international contacts between Finland and Switzerland, for instance, concerning films are not very tight. We don't hear much about conditions of productions. How would you describe the conditions of filmmaking in Finland?
Well, they are hard as everywhere. They're easy for me because I do what I want, but normally it's very hard to get a film made in Finland.
How worked out is the infrastructures, the organizations? You yourself run a production, you run also a distribution firm, I understand. How are these institutions organized?
Finnish film is divided two parts. Other one is our company, which makes the half. Other one is the rest of Finnish filmmakers. And they have, and we used to have also the jealousy against he got the money from the state, we didn't, and so on, this shit. But we have got over that, so we don't do what we want and we show films we want, and all the rest I hope they do their best too.
As for the cinema situation, how is that in Finland?
Well, we see the same American shit as you do in Switzerland. We used to see even Swiss films in the 70s, but not so often anymore. We saw the Tanner films and the Coretta films of 70s. But nowadays very seldom there's any Swiss films shown in Finland.
How about public support for your films or for others?
Well, last 5 films we made with Swedish money. Or Swiss money or French money or...
No Finnish money?
Sometimes not. Depends how we feel.
If you had to compare, where stands Finland on its way to a filmland, so to speak?
I wouldn't like to talk about myself, so it's not a filmland. It has the same problem as all the small countries in Europe to be. There's always small countries come in the spotlight as film countries like Hungary, early 70s, Switzerland, late 70s, sometimes Poland, very late 70s, so on. I think Finland could be for a moment like that, but I would need some company. I can't do it all myself.
How important is the Finnish film for the Finnish audience? How important are your films for the Finnish audience?
No, they don't care about anything except video recorders. So the whole Finland is wasting their time with carrying a new video recorder home, and next morning it's too old-fashioned, they buy a new one. It takes their whole time. It's too much money in Finland, that's the problem.
So they don't go to the cinema?
They go more and more nowadays again, but still not for the right films. There's a good audience as everywhere, which goes for all the good films, but the big audience don't want to see anything except James Bond and License to Kill.
As to speak for Finland again, are there specific Finnish subjects for this good audience you speak about?
No, the good audience is very international. They don't really care where the film comes from, so far it works. So far it's a good film. So they can as well see a good Chinese film, good Swiss film, good Brazilian film, good Finnish film even.
If you are asked, what are you making films about, what would you answer?
It's still the answer is life. The life of Finland as it used to be, life of human beings in the world. In my youth, when I was still alive myself.
You seem very unsentimental in your films, almost cool, if I may say so. Yesterday I heard somebody saying he is a cynic. How would you describe yourself?
I'm the most sentimental man ever been born. That's why I don't show it to anybody. I think I'm the most sentimental.
Are there throughout Europe filmers you would accept to be your teacher? I sometimes I was reminded by the light on Fassbinder films and so in this Sleep Room in Ariel, for instance.
I never seen Fassbinder films. I liked his style. So far I understood it, but I never seen his films. Maybe 2 or 3. But as a teacher, I would only say there's one man alive in Europe, and he's called Robert Bresson. All the others are dead.
For this good audience you're speaking about, are there specific Finnish themes, subjects you would want to describe?
Yeah, I made a trilogy about life in Finland from '86 to '89, 3 films. And it's more or less my goodbye to my country, because I'm moving out. I can't stand the darkness physically and mentally anymore, so I go away. So I made some goodbye in 3 films.
Darkness a problem for a filmmaker, isn't it?
Well, if you make a night scene, it's all right, but try to make a daylight scene, it's a problem if it's totally dark all the time.
Speaking of your films, if somebody asks you, what are you making films about, what do you answer?
Well, I'm making films to keep myself out of the bar, the whiskey bar, I mean.
Only for that reason?
Well, you have to do something, and so far I'm not good for honest work. I have to do something, whatever.
Is there somebody in Europe you would accept as your teacher, or as your idol, as in filmmaking?
I don't have any idols, but I like the work of some people, and in Europe there's only one alive, maybe 2 alive. Robert Bresson is the other one, and Alexander McKendrick is still alive, but he's living in the States nowadays.
You seem to be very unsentimental, at least cool almost. And I heard somebody saying he's a cynic after your film Ariel. So what would you answer to this man?
I would ask him, was he never ever sentimental enough to bury a match, as I did when I was a child. I felt so pity for a match lying in the asphalt, so I took the match and buried it in the forest in a nice place. I wouldn't call that kind of man a cynic.
So you are a sentimental.
Most sentimental ever been.
You never show it.
Ask my dog.
Thank you.